Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into the story of Dr. Muhammad Yunus. You probably know him as the father of microfinance. I mean, quite a title, right? He basically pioneered a whole new way to think about empowering the world's poorest.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
that work, founding the Grameen Bank, earned him the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2006. Huge recognition.
Huge, changed millions of lives.
Yeah, but that Nobel, well, obviously massive, it's really just part of his story. What we want to do today is dig a bit deeper, look beyond just the prize, and see how his ideas are maybe surprisingly still incredibly relevant.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. Where did this all start? He was born in Chittagong, Bangladesh, back in 1940. Got his PhD, interestingly, from Vanderbilt University here in the States.
Right. Taught economics for a while?
Yeah, but then he went back home, and this was after the really devastating 1974 famine in Bangladesh. That seems key.
It really was a turning point. He saw firsthand how traditional banks just completely ignored the poorest people, the most vulnerable.
So what did he do? This is the amazing part.
Well, it wasn't some grand scheme initially. He literally started with $27
Just $27.
from his own pocket. He started lending tiny, tiny amounts to women in rural villages, people the banks wouldn't even look at. It was quite radical.
Wow, challenging basically centuries of how finance worked.
Exactly. And that small act, that $27, it exploded, grew into the Grameen Bank. And that bank became the model, really, the global blueprint for microfinance, taking banking to people who'd always been shut out.
But it went beyond just loans, didn't it? He had this other concept.
The social business idea, which is fascinating. These were businesses, right, set up specifically to solve a problem like poverty or lack of clean water or unemployment.
Okay.
And this is the crucial difference, they're not designed to make profits for investors. Any surplus gets reinvested back into the business or used to start other social businesses. The goal isn't shareholder wealth, it's maximizing social good.
So, like impact investing, but taken a step further.
Kind of, yeah. But structured as self-sustaining businesses.
Yeah.
And we've seen this idea spread everywhere. Clean water projects in Africa, affordable housing initiatives. It's had a huge influence.
And that influence, it's not just history. Like you said, he's relevant right now. Bangladesh is going through, well, a tricky political period, lots of uncertainty. And Dr. Yunus's name keeps popping up. People are talking about him as a potential leader for an interim government.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about why. He's seen as fundamentally apolitical. His whole career has been about social justice, not power politics.
Right. Plus, he actually knows how to build things. He built Grameen Bank from nothing.
Exactly. That experience in building institutions, stable ones, is invaluable. Now, look, he has faced pushback, let's be clear. Political elites haven't always been fans.
Right. There have been accusations, legal challenges.
There have questions about Grameen's operations, things like that. But it's important to note, the sources we looked at suggest none of these accusations really held up under scrutiny. Many people see them as, frankly, politically motivated efforts to, sideline him.
Okay, so beyond the current politics, he also has this really big vision for the future, something about 3 zeros.
Yes, a world of 3 zeros. It's incredibly ambitious.
What are they?
0 poverty, 0 unemployment, and 0 net carbon emissions.
Wow, okay, that's aiming high.
It absolutely is. But his argument is that it's achievable. He believes the keys are things like unleashing youth entrepreneurship, ensuring governments operate ethically, and expanding what he calls inclusive finance.
So making sure everyone, literally everyone, has access to financial tools.
Precisely. Empowering people at the grassroots level to solve their own problems, build their own futures, and create a world that's, fairer and more sustainable.
When you step back and look at it all, his legacy is just immense, isn't it? He's not just a banker, not just an economist. People call him a builder of hope.
It feels right. Builder of hope.
Yeah. I mean, his courage just to see a problem like poverty and not accept the status quo, but to try something completely different, it's changed millions of lives.
It really has. And it continues to inspire people to tackle these huge global challenges in new ways.
So thinking about that whole journey.
Yeah, from that first $27 loan, risking his own money on people everyone else ignored,
Right.
all the way to this grand vision of 3 global zeros. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does this story tell you about the sheer power of unconventional thinking when it comes to solving the world's biggest, most complex problems?